This is Hello Glass with another glass artist interview. What is your name and are you a glassblower?
Oh yes, I'm a glassblower. My name's Bob Snodgrass and I've been doing this for many years, since 1971.
Do you consider yourself a master?
A master. I think I'm just supposed to show you the way. I'm not the master.
Your favorite style or type of glass to create with?
Oh, I work with borosilicate for 99% of everything I do, and my coloring techniques involve fuming silver and gold.
What state do you call home for your glass shop?
Eugene, Oregon.
Do you own or work under a glass brand or an art name?
Just Snodgrass Family Glass.
Nice. Do you make your living solely off glass blowing?
I do.
If you could blow glass with anyone living, who would that be?
Oh, that's a tough one. How about a whole team?
Name them.
I had a good time working with Abe from North Star and Will Menzies and my grandson when we did the show at CK in New Jersey this year.
Nice.
And,
What style or technique of glass is hardest for you?
that silly little lacework stuff. You know, the bird bass and wishing wells you see at a carnival? That was some of my first training, and I still can't throw perfect loops, so I think there's something to do with that really takes a touch, and I kind of went off and created my own style. I was taught by a scientific glass blower, and he had modified and gone into pipes in the 60s, and when I hooked up with him, we started experimenting around to make colors, and my first adventure was mixing color and making very simple doobie holder type devices.
Nice. Name two people that taught or influenced your glass skills.
Chuck Murphy, and he was basically the beginner of it all. Where I got my confidence to feel like I was working with a fellow named Bill Burns, and it was Little Rock at the State Fair. And that was in the 70s, and I made the first piece that I really liked, and I said, oh wow, this means I know what I'm doing if I could make something that made me really happy.
Is there any style or technique of glass that you will learn in the future?
Oh, I'm sure. And we goof around with different things at different times. I've done a few microwave experiments, electroforming. I'm always like, okay, if I come up with something pat, instead of making 2 million of them and making that my product, okay, I've made enough that I'm happy with, I've got this idea down. And I would wander right away from the pad items and on to something else. So I don't have a clue until I get there on a lot of things.
Name two glass artists that impress you.
Oh, Cameron Tower. He works soft glass and boro. He works at, I think it's Glass Eye in Seattle and another one in Seattle. And then he has his own lamp working studio at home. Another one would be Brian Padilla, and I'm flying out of here to go up to Oakland and get taken and picked up at the airport to go to Brian's studio. I'm going to work with Brian and his sister, Yvonne Padilla. And my daughter and her husband are going to rendezvous with me, and we're going to all do some super collabs.
Nice. What style or technique in glass amazed you when you first saw it?
Oh, it was just clear glass with clear overlay and not melted in so much to make it into one wall thickness, so you had the three-dimensional shape of your overlay. And that probably was the thing that set the hook for me first.
Nice. Worst injury you ever got making glass art?
Oh, homemade torch stand fail, and the torch flipped around while it was on full burn, and went right past my hand. And then, of course, you lift your hand up and come right back through the flame. And I had a small couple scratches on my hand, and just peeled them wide open. And that was terrible. Since I've found a lot better things for burns, and one of them is the Second Skin gel pads. And for anybody that gets a burn, if you get burnt by the torch, run it under running water for like 10 minutes to get rid of the rare gases, because what's going on is you've interrupted the flame, and there's unburnt oxygen and unburnt propane and the natural oils on your skin, and those little flashes of pain you're feeling may even be some form of spontaneous combustion. So if you keep it under running water, you can get rid of all that gases that are trapped on the surface of your burn. And then the gel pad over it. And like they used to do in the old wards, they went in and they smelled your bandage, and if it smelled like it needed changing, you don't mess with a burn unless you have to. If it starts to smell a little bit like vinegar, it's starting to go, and it's time to run that all under water and peel away. Anyhow, burns. In my first aid kit, I've got burn gel, the burn pads, and super glue. And I've used super glue to stick back together some terrible looking slashes that everything's still working.
Nice.
And I've glued together my son, myself, and other persons that have worked in my shop. And if
Nice. What do you wish to accomplish in the glass industry? That you haven't already accomplished?
I think I just keep finding those things out as they come up.
How does a glass fan get a hold of your work?
Find me at Snodgrass.net.
Any other websites, Facebooks?
I'm on Facebook also, but I really like all my sales work coming through Snodgrass.net. And
How do you spell Snodgrass?
SNOD grass.
Nice. If you got 3 minutes to tell the world whatever you want, go for it.
Go for it. Well, I'm really pleased that this environment that's being created out of these glass blowers, the sharing and openness of it all. The more we compete, the more we sometimes bang heads, but everybody seems to go off with a new idea, and I just love the explosiveness of what we have today is going to be so passé that tomorrow we're going to just be wowed at all the things that are coming. And that's probably it.
That's awesome. This was Hello Glass with another Real Glass Artist interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.